I was raised as someone to do the right thing. And so I did that so much so that I was known for and made fun of as the goody two shoes kid in school growing up. By the time I graduated high school and was looking at college, it was very evident that that I was searching for identity in other things. It took me 6 years to get my bachelor's degree, and on the eve of graduation, all of that, just 6 years of just putting filth and dirt and just making poor decisions caught up with me. I remember being out celebrating with my friends. The next thing I know, I woke up on the ground. A friend of mine is holding just a rag on my face because it's bleeding so much. There were sirens and lights, and before I knew it, I was being loaded into an ambulance. While in the hospital, some police officers came to see me and asked me if I remembered anything, and I said no, and they said, well, you got into a fight with another guy and you hurt each other pretty bad, but he's hurt really bad. I was told by the attorney that at some point I would go to prison. The question was just for how long. Waited at the hospital for my dad to drive 3 hours from Nebraska in the middle of the night to come check me out. Met up with the rest of my family who came down the next day, and went through the graduation ceremony, which was hands down the lowest moment of my life ever. I remember sitting there in the car, and there was a Third Day song on. I can remember the sunset, and I remember God speaking so clearly to me in that moment, saying, Zach, you need to give your life to me. It just became clear to me that I didn't have to do anything for God or for Jesus, because there was nothing that I could do for him. But what I needed was to be with Jesus. And 3 days later, I remember sitting on the couch in my parents' house. My mom was in the kitchen. She could just turn to me and said, do you want to go out to the church, and do you want to talk to Pastor Chuck and the church psychiatrist? And yeah, Pastor Chuck shared the gospel with me, and I prayed the prayer of salvation one last time, and came out of that feeling so overjoyed that Jesus would still want me after everything that I had done. Normally when you do something like what I did, people don't want you to come around their kids. They don't want you in their house. Sometimes they don't want you in their church, unfortunately. But that was not the case. And I got to be discipled by a man who I am forever indebted to, named Clay. He baptized me on May 5th of 2012, about a month before I ended up going to prison. Even while I was there, tons of people, young and old, from my church wrote letters to me, talked to me on the phone. It wasn't like I just went away and I was forgotten. And when I got out, I went back to the church, and they welcomed me again with open arms. I'm just so thankful that people chose to see Jesus in me, and just so thankful to God for the way he just changed my life. Last June of 2021, we moved to Minnesota. We started coming to Constance and just loved what we found here. And so that was really great to just be able to have a community that was ready and willing to accept us. We're just very glad to be here and very glad to get to serve God in this place.